So I've kicked the idea around in my head several times is, are we going to be better off or worse off if Biden wins? I mean, in the long term. I mean, yeah, of course, on the surface we'll be, even if it's only 5 or 10% better, it'll be a little better if he wins. I mean, yeah, it'll be nice to have Trump gone, and all we're really going to get is some social issue stuff, and some, he'll take COVID seriously. Honestly, that's about it. Because I know it's demoralizing, because he and the DNC in general, they tell the left to shove it on economic issues, environmental issues, anti-war stuff, police reform. He's not for any of that. He's not. He's firmly against Medicare for all, firmly against Green New Deal, firmly against UBI. He's not going to ban fracking, and he's proud of it. But then again, as Jank of TYT often says, if it's a choice between one capitalist right-wing party and a fascist capitalist right-wing party, yeah, it sucks we've got two capitalist right-wing parties, but pick the one that's not a fascist. I mean, I definitely see I definitely see that point of view, but I tend to agree with it. But my biggest fear is that in the long haul, like the people that would consider themselves on the left but don't really follow politics that closely, that they're going to start leaving the streets. That the police protests are going to start winding down. People just think, oh, a Democrat won, we're good, or we're at least better than we were. And then, of course, the establishment will double down because they just think all they want is a Democrat in. They don't care if the Democrat does Republican stuff. The fact that, oh, it's a Democrat, that's all, to them, that's all that matters. But anyway, I think it could just as easily also go the other way. I mean, you could see that 6 months, a year from now, when nothing changes, when the cops are still as brutal as ever, when there's no UBI, there's no pandemic relief, that everything's kind of staying the same, that people will see, okay, we got Biden in and nothing changed. They're still tough on crime and no economic relief except for, Band-Aid, means-tested stuff that people have to jump through hoops for when it's complicated. Then that could mobilize everyone even harder. The problem is we're already so close to the edge. I mean, can we take another 6 months, a year, 2 years of everybody having to wake up? But then it poses like even the bigger question: can we take 4 more years of Trump? And I don't. He always outdoes himself. I mean, like that. At this point, I should long not be surprised by this point, but he's never going to disavow any of his far right MAGA, red MAGA supporters. He's never going to disavow the Proud Boys because he agrees with them. And that stand down comment was pretty terrifying. But then again, it also kicks around in my head that, do you really think that if he loses, no matter who he loses to, do you think that, his extremist, gun nut supporters are just going to be, oh, gee golly, we lost. Oh, let's go home. No, they're going to double down. I mean, they're bad now. I mean, they're emboldened, Trump emboldens them to attack protesters and to be as racist as they are. But do you think if he loses, they're not just going to take this thing lightly and go, walking off into the night? They're going to, I mean, we could be, I don't want to be too conspiratorial here, but we could be in the Civil War territory. I mean, I would never in a million years vote for Trump. I hate that guy. But it's like, I don't know, do we try to placate to them? And if he stays in, will that tame them? Will that tame the beast just enough to where maybe they won't go completely off the edge? I mean, the fact of the matter is we the American people, we lost no matter what. Especially if you're on the left, we lose no matter who wins. I mean, think how frustrating it is and how lonely it is for someone like me that's on the left, that it's like the right obviously hates us, and then the establishment Democrats, the Republican light DNC Democrats, they hate us, while the right wingers think they are us. I mean, I hate it here.